Welcome back to Studio 701.
From Medora to Fargo and everywhere in between, there is a lot to see in our great state.
And some talented people behind the lens help capture some of that beauty.
701 on Film is sponsored by Desiree's Makeup and Beauty Lounge. This month, we're featuring photos taken from Alyssa Damiano. Alyssa, thanks for being here.
Yeah, no problem.
Alyssa, you wear a lot of different hats. I'm sure a lot of, especially moms out there, can relate to this, but you are a mother, a photographer, and an airman.
Yes.
So first of all, thank you for your service.
Yep, thank you.
And we'd like to ask you about your photography because it's been so special to show your photos all week long, and they just pull on the heartstrings if you've ever experienced, I think, what we're looking at right here. Where did you kind of get started with your photography?
So I really got started when I was 18. I had just graduated high school. I was starting to go to college actually for communications with like a digital media concentration. And I kind of just started taking photos, and it really just ended up snowballing. I'm from Pennsylvania, so it kind of started there, and then I made the decision to enlist in the military. And once I got settled up here in Minot about 4 years ago is kind of whenever I got back into it, and it has really just taken off. I've been able to capture a lot of different military families. That's usually where I'm shooting the most, is with the base, and it has just been so special. It really has been. I've been able to see people delivering their babies, and like getting to be there whenever a baby is born is something so incredibly special. Like being one of the first people outside of like just your family to see a baby earthside is something so absolutely precious I will absolutely never take for granted.
Yeah, so like what type of emotions are going through, you know, your mind, your body, being in the room with such an intimate moment?
So it definitely is different than obviously, you know, being the one as the mom actually having the baby. So getting to be on the outside looking in is just, it's just really so powerful. Like even if you don't necessarily know those people very well, it's kind of, I'm sure like, you know, nurses and OBGYNs can attest to this. There is just something that can just be simply said, it is just a miracle. It really is. Like whenever you hear the baby cry for the first time and you're seeing mom, like, no, like, okay, like I finally did it, like the baby is here, and just like hearing that baby cry for the first time, it almost just takes your breath away. It really does.
Wow.
Well, and your photos do too, I have to say, because when I saw them, I started tearing up the first time, because you know, if you've experienced some of what we're seeing, it almost just takes you back into that moment,
Yes.
just seeing those authentic emotions captured on film for you. So we should also mention you have a 2.5-year-old yourself, a little boy named Theo. And you know, what do you hope these families who have these photos kind of take away from these years down the line of having these?
So I think as a mom, you know, you can definitely attest to, you really tend to forget a lot of what is going on in that delivery room in those final moments of your pregnancy, and then, you know, right before you're having the baby. So a lot of it is just something for you to look back on, and especially for your partner. Like you get to see, it could be, you know, your partner becoming a parent for the first time. It could be him or her becoming a parent for the third time. It doesn't matter. Like, you know, you have the rest of your life with this child now, so it's really cool to get to see that. And also, there's a lot of talk in the birth community that birth photography can be very healing. There is, you know, not everybody has what is like a picture-perfect birth story, and there are things like birth trauma, or maybe you had a birth plan and it didn't go accordingly. So you're able to take some time and kind of help work through what had happened and process that, and it can just be really healing for people.
And Alyssa, how does somebody like get in contact with you? How do they set this up? Can you just kind of walk us through the process of getting this set up?
Absolutely. So the best way to reach out for me is through Instagram or Facebook Messenger, through my business page. I have a website as well, but I like to keep a very like one-on-one conversation going with my clients. So through Messenger is the best way, and then I meet with all of my clients before I book them, especially for births, just to kind of get a feel for them and make sure that they're looking for what I'm offering.
And you know, in the moment, in the delivery room, I'm just thinking you might end up being there for a long time. What is that day like for you? Like, and just kind of hiding in the corner kind of thing? Or?
I'm pretty social, so no. Sometimes it depends. You know, if I'm coming in the morning, I try and bring like donuts or coffee, which typically, you know, mom is able to have a little something before, and then it's so amazing. Like my birth clients really, you know, they end up becoming lifelong friends for the most part, because you're just there for like such a big moment. And then yeah, sometimes, you know, you're at the hospital for hours and hours on end and you're not sure when baby's coming, especially if it's not like a planned induction or anything. So I mean, I usually have a good rapport with dads, especially a lot of the dads that I work with are also military, so we'll talk shop, we'll talk work stuff, or we'll just hang out. I mean, I get to build a good relationship with the nurses and with some OBs, and just kind of, you know, it's just a waiting game. And I do capture a lot of what is leading up to it. So whether it's like mom bouncing on a ball, mom getting turned if she maybe had an epidural, mom walking the hall, it kind of just whatever is happening, I'm just there to document it as it is.
Well, you provide a beautiful service. Thank you so much, Alyssa,
Yeah,
for
thank
being
you.
with us.
This has been 701 on Film, sponsored by Desiree's Makeup and Beauty Lounge.
And you can find more about Alyssa's business information by checking her out on Instagram and or Facebook. And you can see her name, Damiano Photography, on Facebook on the screen right there. But